I just wanted to pop off immediately. Like,
Yeah.
0 to 100.
Of course.
Because it's like, I would never do that to someone.
Well, who does something like that? You're
Exactly.
going to overstep somebody, like what?
Exactly. Again, with the social media, though, I think it just gives people an outlet to where they don't really know right from wrong anymore when they just post something, and then they could just say, well, I was just so excited, but you weren't even told. So by us. Exactly.
For multiple reasons.
So I just continued on with my pregnancy with Emberly, and we kept it off social media. People would see us. Obviously, a lot of people knew that I was because of the post. But we just decided then, we'll just keep it private for now. And when we're ready to make our grand announcement, how we see fit, we will. Went to Florida for our last vacation, our baby moon. And I was 7.5 months pregnant. I had you take pictures of me on the beach, and we posted them. And it was like, here it is. This is our way of telling you guys that the joy might have been taken away in the beginning, but now we're taking back our joy. We're excited to share, and here it is on our own terms.
Had the pink balloons
exactly.
on the beach.
They were beautiful.
Holding your stomach. Yeah, it looked so good.
And I remember, I feel so big, and I look back and I'm like, where was the bump? Like, what? Yeah. Girl.
Well, you were so petite back then anyways.
I was I always say that. I'm like, the first pregnancy and the fifth pregnancy, they don't even know each other, okay? Yeah. Like, it's completely different.
Oh, that's funny.
But so going into that's when we talked about the pregnancy and all of that. Let's talk about the delivery. That also
skip into the delivery.
So let's just go straight to the delivery, because then it will kind of tie in with what I'm going to say afterwards and make sense to people.
Yeah, let's bypass everything that happened before the delivery room.
Yeah, well, you're just miserable, all right? You're like, oh, I'm over it. So you finally get to delivery day.
Yeah.
And back then there were no restrictions. You could have as many family members, as many friends. It was kind of a free-for-all, right? You could have whoever you wanted in there, and mom and baby and all of that.
Yeah.
And back then we lacked boundaries, period. We had no boundaries, and we just were kind of like walked over. Just, okay, well, Haley and Tyler, they should just expect to have us up there because we're family. They had the entitlement of, well, who cares what they want? Or if this is their first child, we want to be up there too.
Yeah, families lined up down the hallway.
Because we need our pictures, or we need our post on Facebook. Let's be real here. It's a photo op at that point.
The baby,
right
away.
Don't even ask how mom's doing. Mom just went through the most traumatic 36 hours of her life, but where's the baby?
Ems is in a Billy blanket because she's got jaundice.
Oh my God. Just all those things. And then it's like the nurses coming in and they're like, hey, so-and-so's here. Well, so-and-so's here, and they brought all their crew. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're in this tiny room. I'm so overwhelmed.
I'm sure that was super stressful.
I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my first time, my first experience, and it was hell. I don't remember feeling any moment of happiness until everyone left. Because I'm like, give me back my baby.
And if I do recall, it was very difficult, obviously being your first pregnancy, but very difficult for you to not just try to breastfeed, but just breastfeeding in general, right? Yes. Having everybody up there in line ready to get their photo op.
I know.
Like, and I'm just trying to breastfeed over here. Like, I can't do so with you, Uncle Joe. I ain't got no Joe, but.
Well, it's like, you haven't seen these people. They weren't at my shower. They weren't checking in on me. But then all of a sudden, my phone's blowing up like it hasn't ever before. My phone hadn't lit up that much my entire pregnancy. But people get wind that the baby's born. It's like, oh my gosh, let me come see the baby. How are you? I want to see you guys. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
hospital are you at?
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just remember when we left and the drive home, and it was just like, I will never do that again. I never want to experience that again because it was hell. I mean, and that sucks because that was my first baby and my first experience, and that's all I remember is just the constant give me the baby and take my picture and Haley and Tyler, we expect this of you, or Haley was rude to me, or just everyone had a sense of like how they felt, but I don't think they ever stepped back and thought, well, how do they feel? What do they need? How can we help them? And we were only 19 and 20 years old. So it was just like, I think they just thought we were going to just.
They know what's going on, though. They've had kids
Exactly.
before. They know what's
But
going on. They know the stressful situation, especially at a young age, what it's like already, and
but
they
they didn't
they know
care.
that you need that time.
Yeah, but
But
they
to not
didn't.
respect that, to not even care, to just bypass all that just for whatever reason,
Just
that
for a social media.
whatever personal
Here's
reason.
Emberly. Here she is. Here's me and Ems. And it's just
Yeah.
like, and you know what, people? We never heard from those people again, honestly. Most of the people that came and saw Emberly never saw her again until she was maybe 4 or 5. And they're like, oh, Emberly. And so that's another thing.
Yeah.
The people, they didn't stick around. It was just for a photo op and to say they were there and for their own experience.
Or if Ems saw them today, she absolutely would not know who they are. Of course.
True.
Yeah.
She would be like, Mom, we don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And that offends people. That definitely offends people when little kids, they, again, the entitlement of, well, they should know who I am. Well, Susie, you haven't been around her since she was 2 days old, so you don't make that effort. But, anyways, Haley got boundaries the second time around.
She learned right.
I got some boundaries, and I said, this is what we're going to do. And again, had another miscarriage before my second pregnancy. So we're dealing with all of that again. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I feel like this is deja vu 2.0.
And must we tell the family? Must we put it
We
on
had to
social
have those
media?
difficult conversations.
But must you put it on social media? Must you tell the family that you've had these miscarriages and you're trying to get pregnant? Must you tell them that?
Well,
shame on you for not telling people that.
Exactly.
Is what you were told.
Because miscarriage was kind of taboo too. No, and still people don't really talk about it much. So I felt a lot of guilt because I'm like, God, I'm going through this again. What did I do to deserve this again and go through all of this again? So finding out after the miscarriage that I was pregnant again, we talked about it and I said, we're not going to announce until after the first trimester. We're going to make sure everything's okay and it's going to be on our terms. We didn't text anyone. We didn't give them a heads up. Mm-hmm. It was a blind side of here's a super cute photo shoot with Emberly. Here's our rainbow baby. Take it for what it is. And then guess what we got? Well, why didn't you tell us? Well, I'm really offended that I wasn't told about the baby. And it's like, again, this is exactly why, because not everything is about you. And people do not understand that when it comes to pregnancy, kids, marriage, your decisions, your life, they feel a sense of entitlement. And it's like, get over yourself. You do not walk in my shoes. You do not live in my household. Therefore, you're not going to make decisions, and I'm not going to make decisions based on how you feel.
The day you want to make decisions
is the day you can pay my mortgage.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Second pregnancy, after we got some boundaries, COVID happened. No visitors in the hospital. It was perfect. 10/10 recommend.
It was not perfect. Having to wear a mask.
Well, that really
all
sucked.
The things. No, it definitely was not perfect.
It wasn't perfect, but
it was better.
It was better. But it was just perfect as it was our own time. The first time we got to really bond with the baby.
For
and
sure.
enjoy the moment, soak it in, and kind of just do things our own way and not hear that little, I call it like a little chihuahua just in your ear.
Yeah.
Like, there was none of that. It
It
was
was
just
cool to be able to
blissful.
compare it though, and be able to talk
Exactly.
about it and experience how nice this pregnancy is compared to
Which
how
sucked
M's was.
also because it was like, dang, why couldn't we just
It
have
was a
that?
breath of fresh air though, for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
It
And I
definitely
felt so
helped.
much more comfortable because then we were opening up a window of we've got to bring the baby home to Big Sister who's never lived with another sibling. So when we said no visitors once we got home, and did they really respect that? No, we still had people show up, but it
Or
was a lot different. It was
yeah.
kind of keep your visits short, okay, I think you've overstayed your welcome. We'll see you later. We'll keep you updated. Peace out. It was kind of like that. I think that's when people started realizing, okay, these aren't just two kids anymore. They have their own family and we need to respect that. And
What an odd time COVID was.
God.
But
Well, that
for
helped
us
us
though,
too.
yeah, of
That helped us
course.
too because we could be like, don't want to get the baby sick. So we'll see
It
you when
it
we see you.
it did allow us to spend a lot of family time.
Exactly. And I loved every minute of that, and that's what led us to listen to us. We're like baby number 1, baby number 2, baby
Bam,
number
bam,
3. Like
bam.
we wasted no time, okay? Yes, we know how babies are made. Um, but so baby number 3. 3 miscarriages before baby number 3. Back to back to back to the point where I was like, we're never going to be able to grow our family how we are talking about. And we had to have a lot of really difficult conversations to where it was like, okay, we have our healthy baby girl, we have our healthy baby boy. Maybe we should just stop trying. Like, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And just,
Yeah, it
and
starts to
And
raise
it got really
questions.
scary too because, I had to have, with our last miscarriage, I had to have emergency surgery. And we didn't know what was going to happen after that, if I would even be able to have babies or anything. So we thought that chapter was going to be closed. And we were coming to terms with that. And then I remember we got that positive pregnancy test. And I looked at you and I was like, I'm not even going to get excited because, something is going to happen and it's just going to really suck. So I'm not going to get excited. I'm not going to tell anyone. And we're just going to see what happens. And we went to our first appointment. I still wasn't even excited. And I hate saying that and I feel guilty about it. But I think it's a common thing that women feel after so many losses and so much struggle where they're just like, you can't even get excited. It's not even fun yet. So, still didn't tell anyone. And first trimester goes by, no one knows. And that's when I told you, I said, we're not telling anyone. And you said, well, how are we going to do that when you are in front of the camera all the time with the business?
Small town.
It's a small town. You see everyone at the local Mexican restaurant, and you can't go to Walmart without seeing your kindergarten teacher. So, how are you going to do that? And I
And
said,
let's
well,
talk about that real quick though, because it's very hard to hide a pregnancy, especially in a small town. And
where everyone knows everyone.
yes, exactly. So the way I see it is, even whenever you're going to an OB appointment, I notice, right? There's girls in there that you know.
I
There's
know.
girls in there that know girls, right? I don't care about what law they got out there.
If you see Haley,
You see Haley walking up in there with a big old belly.
she's pregnant.
So and so said this. Your name was never tossed in there, right? It was never tossed in the swimming pool. So it never came down to a lawsuit. Doesn't matter. Now, Sally Sue knows
That you're pregnant.
that
But
Haley's got
I
a big
said
old belly
we're
she's toting around,
but I said we're going to do this. We're going to at least attempt to do this
right?
and not have it on social media and not tell anyone. So we went by second try. I mean, it flew by because it was just you and I enjoying it with the kids. And by the time I was 20 weeks pregnant, I was like, wow, we're getting somewhere. We're halfway through. No one knows. And I wasn't really staying in the house. Like, I think some people think that I just stayed at home.
It
And
was cold and you were
yeah, it
able
was
to
the winter
wear baggy
time.
clothes and
And I was around family members and friends. And
our inner circle.
exactly, I was still posting on social media.
Right.
And obviously, like, my photographer knew, which she's one of my best friends. So I kept her in the loop and I said, I would really like to do something to document this and announce it at the very end, once he's here and all of that. So we came up with the idea of putting all of the pictures and videos that I had taken from the beginning until the end. And that's how we were going to, quote unquote, launch it. That,
Produce a full on hidden pregnancy by
yes,
Haley
I was
Thompson.
like, we got to make it fun. I'm the only
Of
one. We got to make
course.
it fun. So she knew, obviously, and that helped, at least having someone to talk to about it. But the longer it went on, the easier it got. And the bigger I got, I was just like, if I see someone and they can tell I'm pregnant, then I guess they can just tell, but they're not going to hear it come out of my mouth and they're not going to see it on social media at all. And it was perfect. It was amazing. And then we had him and everything was great. And we waited a month and a half after he was born to release the video. Keep in mind, so for a month and a half, we were basically hiding a newborn as well. We told a couple family members, that we are super close with, and they got to meet the baby and stuff, but they respected our wishes enough to not post anything, not tell anyone. And that night, after they got to meet him, we posted the video, and I will never forget the phone just freezing up because
Yeah.
everyone is like, ding, 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 like, just what is going on? You had this baby. I
I would
had
have
no
thought
idea.
something was wrong with AT&T towers.
I mean, it just froze up.
Yeah.
And everyone was shocked. But everyone was well, I won't say everyone, but 90% of the people that watched the video and watched how important it was for us to have those 11 and a half months of just us and our family. That was really amazing how many people showed up for us. And I had messages pouring in of women saying, I've been going through the same thing. This gives me hope that I'm going to have my rainbow baby. And thank you for sharing your story. Now I want to do this.
Oh, you were
And
getting people sending you bracelets and all flowers and stuff.
I
And
mean, the support was absolutely
you were
just,
really connecting with women out there that,
well,
were
people that weren't even local either,
right.
because I had shared, I mean, it really blew up because it's like I said, not very many women had done it, hidden a whole pregnancy. So when they had reached out and they saw the backstory as to why I did that,
Right.
they were like, okay, this gives me so much hope. And thank you for sharing your story, because that's not something that I had talked about very much publicly of what we were going through. Like I said, the 3 back-to-back miscarriages, no one knew how scary those times were for us unless you were super close with us. I didn't share it on social media. So when they saw that and they could resonate with that, I was like, okay, that's that's perfect. That, you know, I feel like what I did encouraged other people to either A, do the same thing, or B, know that just because you're going through something that is really shitty at the time, your rainbow baby is coming, like, good things are coming, and you deserve to have the pregnancy that you want.
And don't feel obligated to put it out there and don't feel like, you should be shamed for not putting it out there on social media because of what others
Exactly.
think. Yeah.
Well, and we got a lot of backlash from that 10%, because I remember I said 90% supported us. The 10% was, again, the entitlement of, I can't believe you would do that. let's just skip over completely that Haley just admitted to you all that, she had back-to-back miscarriages and went through a hell of a time. But again, let's make it about you and your feelings and just
I remember us having those conversations. That's exactly how it went. That's what you were telling me. I was like, I can't believe that you're
well,
having to go through this and people are coming at you in a way.
yeah, it's the sense of entitlement. And again, it's like, why do you really want to know? Is it because you care so much or just to say that you're in the know?
Just to talk,
Just to tell someone else
just to tell
or
all about Haley.
tell all about our life. Yeah. Just to feel like they know what's going on when they really don't. If you weren't there during those dark times, why do you feel the entitlement to hold my baby or be included in the good times? If you're not there when I'm going through hell, then you don't need to be there when I'm on cloud 9 and I finally got all that I had, prayed about. That that was when, though, baby number 3, the secret pregnancy, when we I think we changed the narrative to we don't care how you feel about what we choose to do with our life or the decisions we make for ourselves, for our kids. We're not explaining shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if your feelings are hurt, you are already pinched at that point. I don't know what to tell you. Go seek therapy and talk about it because
That's a you problem.
that's a you problem. It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
And baby number 4.
Well, hold up. So, yep. We had M's, and then we got the Z boys,
Yep.
and then boom, jumping right into
Baby number 4. And see what I said? When you start getting up there in numbers, baby number 4, we didn't want to tell a lot of people about because we didn't want to be judged, I think.
Well, they were already like, well, you got
3.
Why would you have 2 boys? You already got 2 boys.
Yeah, because I can pick the gender, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't you guys done yet?
Tyler's bound to have
Did Tyler get
boy.
fixed? How many times did you get asked that? Let's be real.
If I got fixed?
Yes. How many times?
Too much. Like, really? Like,
I'm like, are you going to pay for it?
You want to feel them?
That's so frustrating, though. Again, with the questions.
Yeah.
It's always the questions, those annoying little chihuahuas that are like just butting in. But with Everson, it was like, the same thing. We're just going to keep as much private as we can and go with that. And that's when we made the decision, I think, just to continue on with the whole private thing of, not doing an early announcement. And I had no complications. Let's put that out there. No complications before Everson. He was a complete surprise. So we just had to come to terms with, okay, baby number 4, because we weren't planning baby number 4. So that was a big shock to us. But we kept that private until we were ready, and that worked out perfectly. And then baby number 5 was announced. I laugh about it because we were at a Halloween party and I was 6.5 months pregnant with all of our friends and no one knew.
Mm-hmm. And you showed up as...
And I showed up as a closet drinker. And I didn't know she was a closet drinker.
I'm like, wait, so, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand the whole costume things, because I didn't watch the whole Mormon
you weren't
deal.
a Mormon wife.
Yeah,
okay?
right. So I didn't get
You
it
weren't a
all.
part of Mom Talk.
Even when you were dressed up and you guys were like acting your little things,
so they said, Haley,
and stuff. I don't know.
So I remember they were like, we're doing this TikTok and you have to grab this beer and act like you're drinking it. And I'm like, I look over at Tyler.
I spit my beer out like, what? She got to do what?
And I looked over at Tyler and I'm like, oh, we're going to have to tell them.
We're going to tell everybody.
Everyone that's here.
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to tell all. For real.
I'm not ready yet. So.
She wasn't ready.
So I act like I'm drinking it. And now looking back at the video, I'm like, come on. You knew.
I thought you were a good actor.
An actress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
So I'm pregnant, you
I
know.
thought you were a good actress. There you go.
I'm pregnant, super pregnant. No one knows. I go through the night. I'm like, we did it. We made it happen. No one knows. And then my best friend and I, we have to go to Indianapolis because we're having the Santa shop at here at the office. And I'm like, oh, I've got to tell her. You know, it's getting
Well, that
crunch
was
time.
her party. It was her Halloween party.
It was her Halloween party. And I was like, I've got to tell her.
So yeah, after that,
Okay.
after you successfully pulled that off,
I'm like, I got to tell her.
Yeah.
And she's like shaking on 465 as I'm like, I've got to tell you something. She's like, I said, I'm pregnant. And she said, yeah, I know. I've already known. And I'm like, what? How far along do you think I am? She's like, you're pretty far along, aren't you? And I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a baby in like 2.5 months. So I'm like, we got to take an announcement photo because I'm going to be working this Santa workshop and I need, you know, the public's going to see me. I might as well go out with a bang and just do a cute little photo shoot and just
big old bumpity bump,
big bump
shoot.
and announce it on my own terms again. So we do a cute little photo shoot and I announce it on a random Tuesday in the evening. And that's what it was. I was like, this is our 5th and final, and it's on my own terms again. And now we're just waiting on her arrival. But everyone was shocked again because it's like, wow, you're so far along and you've, you know, kept it secret all this time. I've seen you out. I've talked to you.
You look great.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank
But
you.
some people are like, you definitely look pregnant though. I'm like, damn, did she just say that shit? Because she does look good, but yeah, I mean, yeah, she is.
Are you miserable? That's what they always ask. I bet you're miserable. I bet it's so hard with all your kids and being pregnant. But no, everyone was, I think at that point, it's just like, listen, it's my 5th baby. I'm going to do things exactly how I want to do it. And I don't give a shit what you have to say about it. And that's my take on it.